What's up, sisters? It's your boy, Beef, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into an electrifying build that brings the fury of the storm together with the power of the dragons. Introducing the Tempest Rider. This build is going to combine the Drakewarden Ranger and the Storm Sorcerer, creating an unstoppable force of nature that rains lightning down on enemies while commanding a draconic companion. With lightning-infused arrows, devastating breath attacks, and the ability to control the battlefield with storm magic, this build is perfect for players who want to fight from a distance while commanding the forces of nature. Let's dive in and see how it all comes together. For my character's race, I've decided to go with a Githyanki, primarily because of their relationship with dragons. Although the Gith have an in-universe team-up with red dragons, we're going to pretend that this guy has a best friend blue dragon instead. The proficiencies that Gith are going to get us is also just a big plus. So starting at level 1, we're going to begin with the Ranger class. The subclass that we're going to be using is a mod that brings the Drakewarden Ranger from 5th edition into the game and allows us to play it as a Ranger subclass. For our Natural Explorer, I'm going to go with Urban Tracker so that we can get proficiency in Sleight of Hand because it's always nice to have that. And for our favorite enemy, I'm going to go with Ranger Knight, if I can click on it. This is going to give us the ability to have proficiency with heavy armor, which we're going to wear pretty much most of the time, and also proficiency in history, which is just nice to have for any dialogue encounters. For our ability scores, we want to focus primarily on dexterity and constitution with a sub-focus on our wisdom. As a ranger, our spellcasting stat is going to be wisdom, but most of our abilities are going to be using dexterity. For that reason, I've gone with a dexterity score of 16, as well as a constitution score of 16, and a wisdom score of 14. I've gone with intelligence and charisma at 10 for the saving throw, and we're also going to be dumping our strength at 8. If you wanted to, you could always grab the Titan string bow on this character and use strength elixirs and then just go ahead and dump the stat anyway and just have crazy high strength and do an insane amount of damage. But we're going to be doing so much damage with our character's archery that it doesn't really matter that much. We're going to be able to do a lot with this. For our skill proficiencies, you can take pretty much whatever you want here. I've got stealth, perception, nature, and also investigation seems to be hard locked for me. At level 2, we're going to gain access to 2 spells and also a fighting style. For our spells, I'm going to take Long Strider because we can give this to our companion and give them some extra movement speed. And I'm also going to go with Hunter's Mark because we can use this to concentrate and use our bonus action to deal some extra damage. For our fighting style, I'm going with Archery, which will give us a +2 bonus to our ranged weapon attacks, which is really awesome to have since we're mostly going to be doing ranged attacks. At level 3, we're learning a new spell and also choosing our Ranger subclass. For our spell, I'm going to go with Speak with Animals because it's a nice utility spell to have access to. And for our subclass, we're taking the Drakewarden. The Drakewarden is on the mod.io page and is created by modder Gerald Field. And this subclass is an import directly from 5th edition. It tries to stay as true to power as possible. Since Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't inherently have access to small dragon icons and they don't have a walking animation, this mod is instead going to use the Alioramus Raptor Dinosaur model that will just be your kind of stand-in for a dragon companion. It's got the same effects and everything, but is just going to look like a raptor. With this subclass, you form a magical draconic connection, allowing you to summon a draconic creature to fight with you. This subclass is kind of similar to the Beastmaster, but instead of choosing from one of the different companions that's available through the Beastmaster, we focus on elemental types through our draconic companion. We'll get the Infused Strikes. While your Drake Companion summon is active, your weapon attacks and your Drake Companion's bite attack deal an additional 1d6 damage of the type associated with your Drake Companion. We're going to be choosing usually the Lightning Drake, which is just going to spawn us a lightning-powered Dragon Raptor, and is also going to give them some extra 1d6 lightning damage to all of our attacks and to all of their attacks. We're also going to get innate access to Thaumaturgy, which is always nice to have so that we can have advantage on intimidation and performance checks. But that is all for our subclass for now, so let's move on to level 4. At level 4, the Ranger doesn't get very much. We're going to be grabbing a new feat, and I'm going to go with Sharpshooter because it's going to give us a nice, huge bonus to our ranged weapon attacks. Your ranged weapon attacks do not receive penalties from high ground rules. Ranged weapon attacks with weapons you are proficient with have a -5 penalty to their attack roll, but deal additional 10 damage. You can toggle this on or off. This is fantastic. If you've ever played an archer, you know that Sharpshooter is absolutely fantastic and will vastly increase your damage. At Ranger level 5, we get access to our own extra attack, allowing us to shoot 2 arrows every action. This is awesome, and with Sharpshooter combined in there, we're going to be dishing out an insane amount of ranged damage. For our new spell, we get access to second level spells, and you could take pretty much whatever you want. I'm going to go with Volley of Arrows because they do 5d6 piercing, fire 5 arrows that deal 1d6 piercing damage each. You could upcast this if you want to have even more arrows and just kind of pass out a ton of different spell damage arrows. It's technically a spell attack roll, so you can use items that will infuse your spell attack rolls with different effects. At Ranger level 6, we get to pick a new favored enemy. I'm going to go with Keeper of the Veil. This is going to give us proficiency in Arcana and also give us the ability to cast protection from evil and good. There's nothing else here that I really want that badly. Bounty Hunter's good if you want to go with a Ensnaring Strike build, but I'm not really using that because it does require our action and our bonus action, which I think is not super great for this specific build. And for our Natural Explorer, I'm going to go with Wasteland Wanderer Fire so that we can get resistance to fire damage because it is very popular in the game. At level 7, we learn a new spell, and also we get access to Bond of Fang and Scale. While your Drake Companion summon is active, you gain resistance to the damage type associated with your Drake Companion. So now when we have our Dragon Companion out, we'll also have resistance to lightning damage. Additionally, our Drake Companion also gets extra attack, so now can bite 2 times with every action. We're going to learn a new spell, and I'm going to go with... The Ranger doesn't really get access to that many spells. I'm going to take Goodberry just because it's fun for some extra healing. At level 8, we're actually going to start multi-classing into the Sorcerer class, going for the Storm Sorcery subclass. Whether crackling with the energy of ancient deluges or pierced by gales and hurricanes, your lineage is a strange tapestry scrawled by a tempest. We'll get tempestuous magic. After you cast a level 1 spell or higher, you can fly as a bonus action until the end of your turn without receiving opportunity attacks. I think it makes sense that since we are best friends with a dragon, that maybe the dragon gives us the ability to fly ourselves. Our dragon can't fly because it's a raptor, but we can fly. For our cantrips, I'm going to go with Shocking Grasp, Booming Blade, Lightning Lure from Mr. Spells, and also Mage Hand for the nice utility that it offers. And for our spells, we're going to take the Shield spell so that we can have some extra armor class if we want to. And also Witch Bolt because it is a fun lightning damage ability that we can use it with our concentration. At level 9, we're getting our second level of Sorcerer. We're going to be taking Sorcerer for a few extra levels from here on out until we get to a little bit later in the game. So for now, we're going to get access to our sorcery points in order to convert our sorcery points into spell slots and spell slots into sorcery points. Really useful because we're not going to have that many sorcery points, but it's nice to be able to kind of pass them back and forth. For our spell, I'm going to go with Thunder Wave just so we can go ahead and push enemies back, and Thunder kind of matches the whole storm sorcery vibe. For our meta magic, I'm going with Distant Spell and also Twin Spell because they're both fantastic. At level 10, for our third level of Sorcerer, we get access to a new spell. I'm going to go with Misty Step because it is awesome and allows us to just kind of teleport around the battlefield as we want to if we get a little bit lost in the sauce. And for our meta magic, we're going to go with Quicken Spell so that we can always do a bonus action spell attack if we so want to. At level 11, for our fourth level of Sorcerer, we're going to be picking up a new cantrip. I'm going to go with Minor Illusion. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go for Gust instead because Gust is fun and kind of also matches that whole Storm Sorcery feel. For our spells, you can go with, once again, pretty much whatever you want here. I'm going to take Featherfall because it's a nice utility spell, and also because if we have a Dragon Companion, what's to say we can't just kind of glide down to the bottom. For our new feat, I'm going to be taking an ability score improvement and giving ourselves a +2 bonus to our dexterity for stronger weapon attacks. At level 12, we're getting our 5th level of Sorcerer, and we're going to be picking a new spell, and this is where our class is really going to take off. Now that we have access to 3rd level Sorcerer spells, we're going to be taking Haste. This is going to be our main combat buff, and we're going to be using Twin Spell all the time to be able to hasten both ourselves and our Drake Companion. This is going to give our Dragon Companion 4 attacks per turn in the mid-game and 6 attacks per turn in the later parts of the game. And it's going to be giving us 4 attacks per turn through the rest of the game, which is really fantastic. We're going to be able to dish out a lot of damage with this spell active. At level 13, we're picking up our 6th level of Sorcerer, where we're going to get a new spell and also a few subclass features. Heart of the Storm, when you cast a spell of level 1 or higher that deals lightning or thunder damage, you cause a small local storm. All enemies within 6 meters take 3 lightning damage or 3 thunder damage. This is going to increase our area of effect damage, giving us some extra lightning damage output. While Heart of the Storm Resistance is going to give us resistance to lightning and thunder damage, we already have resistance to lightning damage, but this is going to give us resistance to thunder damage in addition. We're also getting access to a bunch of cool spells here, including Call Lightning, Sleet Storm, Gust of Wind, Create or Destroy Water, Thunder Wave, and Maelstrom, which are all very nice to have. For our new spell, you can go with pretty much whatever you want here. I'm actually going to be taking Freedom of the Waves. Call forth a deluge of seawater to flood everything within a 4-meter radius of the target point. Enemies are knocked prone. You can then teleport to a nearby surface of water. This is a little bit of a combination between Misty Step while also knocking a bunch of enemies prone in a small area. There's a similar spell over here called Tidal Wave, which does extra damage and knocks enemies prone in a much larger radius, 9 meters. However, 9 meters is a little bit big for me, so I'm going to stick with a 4-meter radius and a little bit less damage because we can also teleport with it. Level 14, we're taking our 7th level of Sorcerer, where we're going to get access to 4th level spells. We're going to get access to a really cool spell here from Mr. Spells called Storm Sphere, which does 4d6 lightning damage and 2d6 bludgeoning damage. You can summon a sphere of electricity. On each of your turns, you can shock an enemy standing within 18 meters of the sphere for 4 to 24 lightning damage with a bonus action. You can concentrate on the spell, so it will be competing with haste, but if you want to, you can go ahead and pop this little storm sphere in the air, and then on your bonus action on any subsequent turn, you can shock your enemies. At level 15, we're going to be taking our final level of Storm Sorcerer for level 8, where we're going to get access to another spell, and you can take pretty much whatever you want here. I'm going to go with Lightning Bolt because it's more lightning damage flavor. And we're also going to be picking a final feat through our Sorcerer class, and I'm going to be taking Warcaster so that we can have advantage on our concentration abilities. At level 16, we're going back to the Ranger class so that we can take this class from here on out, where we'll pick up a new feat. I'm going to take an ability score improvement to top us off at 20 dexterity points. At level 17, we're taking our 9th level of the Ranger class, where we'll get access to a new Ranger spell, and this is where we're going to take Lightning Arrow. After the arrow hits, smaller bolts snake out from the target toward nearby creatures. It does 4d8 damage and 2d8 lightning damage in the area of effect. This is really awesome. It uses a 3rd level spell slot, and it's just going to allow us to dish out tons of lightning damage, also triggering our little storm effect from the above, giving us even more lightning damage. At level 18, we're getting our 10th level of the Ranger. For a new favored enemy, I'm going to go with Mage Breaker just for fun. And for Natural Explorer, I'm going to take Wasteland Wanderer Cold so that we can have resistance to cold damage. At level 19, we're taking our 11th level of Ranger for our Capstone ability. We're going to get access to our Drake's Breath, unleash a powerful Dragon Breath weapon. With the Fire version, Lightning version, Poison version, Acid version, or Cold version, we have access to all of them at one time. We are not limited ourselves to the type of our specific Drake companion, but we're pretty much going to want to use Lightning just because it fits our theme. The Lightning version will do 12d6 lightning damage in a very powerful 9-meter cone. That's a ton of damage and in a big area. So this is really cool because it just means that not only can our Drake companion do this himself, but we can do it too, just because, yeah. And for our new spell, we're going to take pretty much, once again, whatever we want. The Ranger spell list is pretty small. I'm going to take Daylight just because, why not? And for our 12th and final level of Ranger at level 20, we're getting mostly just a new feat. At this point, I'm going to be taking the Elemental Adept feat with the Lightning version. Spells you cast and attacks you make will ignore resistance to lightning damage. In addition, when you deal lightning damage with a spell, you cannot roll a 1, so that we're going to have a little bit more consistency with all of our lightning-based attacks and ignore resistance to our enemies' resistances. That's pretty much everything as far as our leveling is concerned, so let's take a look at some of our gear so that we can identify which gear is going to synergize best with our build. For this build, I've decided to go with the Diadem of Arcane Synergy. When you inflict a condition, gain Arcane Synergy for 2 turns. We're going to be focusing pretty heavily on the Reverberation condition with all of our attacks. So we're going to be able to generate Arcane Synergy, and we're going to be able to do 2 extra damage with each of our attacks, which is really nice just for some extra damage output. I've also used the Cloak of Protection for a +1 bonus to armor class and a +1 bonus to our saving throws. For our armor, we have access to heavy armor, so I've gone with the Dwarven Splint Mail. You can get this in Act 2 from Lantarv. You take 1 less piercing damage, and you gain a +1 bonus to strength saving throws and checks. You'll get disadvantage on stealth checks, not a problem because we're not going to be stealthy very often. We have a big dragon, not really much need for stealth. And we also get a +2 constitution boost up to 20, which is going to bring us up to a 19. For our gloves, we're going to use the gloves of the belligerent skies. When the wearer deals thunder damage, lightning damage, or radiant damage, inflict 2 turns of reverberation upon the target. All of our weapon attacks are going to have lightning damage infused in them, so we're always going to be dealing reverberation with every single arrow, which is really nice. Combining that with the Boots of Stormy Clamor, when the wearer inflicts a condition upon a hostile creature, they also inflict 2 turns of reverberation. This is going to give us even more reverberation stacks for every attack. For our amulet, we're using the Spine Shudder amulet. When the wearer deals damage with a ranged spell attack, inflict 2 reverberation upon the target. This is going to allow us to pass out even more reverberation stacks. Only when we do a spell attack, like Witch Bolt or Volley of Arrows, will count for this purpose. For our rings, we've gone with the Ring of Free Action. You ignore the effects of difficult terrain and cannot be paralyzed or restrained. And also the Risky Ring, which gives us advantage on attack rolls and disadvantage on saving throws. Like it says in the name, this is a risky ring because we'll have disadvantage on saving throws, but the advantage on attack rolls is going to make it so that more of our attacks are hitting instead of being a little bit lower, and it will offset the effects of the Sharpshooter feat. For our weapons, I've got the Pack Hunter Spear. This is available through Beast and Bow Ranger equipment by Graphic Fade, which is available on PC and console. This is a weapon which has coordinated strike. When you are within 9 meters of an animal companion, your attacks become more precise as you work in tandem with your loyal beast. The number you need to roll a critical hit while attacking is reduced by 1. You'll get a jump distance bonus of 1.5 meters and a +1 weapon enchantment. Our weapon is mostly going to be a stat stick, so the extra critical hit threshold is fantastic for us. You could use the Drake Throat Grave instead, but I like using this one because I don't often use the weapons and gear from Graphic Fade's equipment distribution. For our shield, I have the Sentinel Shield, which gives us a +2 bonus to armor class, as well as a +3 bonus to initiative rolls and advantage on perception ability checks. This is really awesome, just one of my favorite shields to go with. And for our ranged weapon, I have the Hellfire Engine Crossbow. This is going to give us a +2 weapon enchantment, as well as 1 4th level cast of the Lightning Arrow spell. We already have Lightning Arrow available to us in our spell book, but this is just going to give us 1 extra version that we can use once per long rest, which is really nice just because why the hell not? Additionally, it's just a crossbow that looks really freaking cool, and I think it looks kind of like it has wings on it, so it matches that kind of dragon companion vibe that we have going for us. You can obviously only get this ranged weapon once you get to Act 3, so before then you could use pretty much any bow that you want to. If you wanted to go with the strength elixirs and the Titan string bow, you could. If you wanted to go with any of the short bows or long bows, you are very much welcome to. Any of the bows will get the job done.
She gets the job done.
We're not really looking for anything specific here. I've just decided to go with this one because I like the way it looks. It's got wings on it and it has a free use of Lightning Arrow. For all of our gear, I've decided to use the Faerun Colors mod, and I'm using the Tiamat because she is the Queen of Chaos, chromatic attire over black. Why not? She's the evil dragon goddess, so let's go ahead and use her. It gives us this cool multicolor look with green, blue, red, and black. Really fun, so that we can have an elemental flavor. But now let's go ahead and get our companion set up. We're going to do the Summon Drake companion and grab ourselves the Lightning Drake. And now we've got a pretty little blue raptor here. The next thing I'm going to do is use Long Strider at the 2nd level so that we can get ourselves and our companion some extra movement speed. Good boy. And then we don't really need it right now, but you have Speak with Animals, so I'm going to go ahead and use that on myself so that I can speak with an animal if I want to. But that pretty much takes care of everything. Once we have our Dragon Companion out, we get this really cool sort of electric effect on our weapons. You can see it here on our bow, but also on our spear and our shield. If we have that out, I'm always going to have the crossbow out, so that's all we're really going to see. It looks really cool regardless. So now that we've got everything squared away for our companion and our gear, let's go ahead and pop into some combat and see just how powerful this build really is. So the first thing that we're going to do to get ourselves into combat is activate Twin Spell so that we can hasten ourselves and also our Drake companion. And then we're going to go into turn-based mode, and now we have our 2 actions, so let's go ahead and get some stuff started. I think that I'm actually going to get combat started with the Lightning Drake. So to do that, I'm going to have him pounce on this guy over here. Yeah, I did. There we go. And now we can retain our actions here. Let's go ahead and do a ranged attack on this guy with advantage. 22 and 11, applying 2 stacks of reverberation. Let's do it again. They're dead. 10 and 24. Didn't even need reverberation on that guy. Let's go ahead and use our extra action to do some more shenanigans. This guy. 24 and 17 with a reverberation stack, and this is probably just going to kill him outright. No, we missed. That's all right. Let's go ahead and end our turn. We have a bonus action, but there's nothing I really want to do with it. Actually, I'll just Misty Step over here. We didn't really need to, but well, I might as well. We still have all this movement speed. I could have ran over there. You can't stop me. All right, Dragon Companion, you're hastened, so let's do some crazy stuff, like biting. 2 and 10, he's saved on the bite, so it's not doing mega damage, but that's okay. Bite him again, 6 and 9, now let's bite this guy. 3 and 9, let's bite him again. Hell yeah, critical hit, end our turn. Ouchie, not a grenade. It's our turn again, so let's do some crazy stuff. I don't want to shoot our lightning drake with our lightning arrow, so I'm just going to do some regular attacks on some folks, like this guy here. He's dead. Let's do this guy next. And let's do this guy so we can pass reverberation around everywhere. Dead. And that is all. Let's go ahead and end our turn. And now we'll use our shield spell, because I don't want to take any damage. It's our dragon's turn again. This guy's got 1 HP. Oh, how dare you? Let's bite him. All right. He's dead, and now these guys are conveniently in a line for us. So let's oh, I can't reach him. It's a shame. Either way, I'm gonna do it. Hell yeah, brother. Now let's pounce on this guy. We can make him prone. End our turn. This guy's too close, but we still have an 85% chance. Let's go ahead and hit him anyway. Let's run over here and do this. And then we can do it again because haste is absolutely crazy. Yeah. Yep. Let's use Misty Step because this guy just entered combat right here. And let's go ahead and hit him. That's a lot of damage. You can't really get anywhere, can you? How far can you go? Not quite. Let's dash. Climb, buddy, climb! That's so funny. All right. Now we can hit him again. Okay. Let's reload so that we can show you what that looks like if we're not going to be doing any of our haste ability, because haste makes it so that weapon attacks are kind of our primary ability here. I want to show you what it looks like if we use more spells and less weapon attacks. Okay, so we're gonna have my Drake start combat, and he's gonna come over here and hit him with one of these. Ooh, he can hit all 5. Yeah. Now we can do Storm Sphere right there. And then let's Misty Step over here. And we can end our turn. How dare you? Shield, please. Don't do that again. All right, buddy. It's your turn. What are you going to do? You're going to bite this guy. And then bite this guy again. Nice. And then we'll jump over here. Or no, we'll jump. No one wants to let's jump. They all want to provoke opportunity attacks. I'll just end my turn. Gotta go ahead and make sure that we get our ability here. We want to Storm Fear Shock. Put it on our hotbar. Because now we can use our Storm Fear Shock to attack pretty much anybody in this little area. Who do we want to do with our bonus action here? Who's got the least amount of health? Probably this guy. Hell yeah. It also gives them reverberation, and somehow it gave this guy reverberation too. I'm not complaining. Let's shoot this guy. Or not. Again. There you go. Now you're done. Shield it up. Get out of here. Get out of here. No, dragon. No! No, dragon, no! Don't die, bud. Let's bite some folks. Like this guy? Well, that's just not cool. That's just not cool at all. You killed my little companion. How dare you? This guy, I guess. And then, let's lightning arrow, right? Yeah. I'm gonna cast it at the 6th level and do it, on these guys, Rod Hall. Heck yes, brother. Oh, you broke my concentration. I'm probably not gonna survive this. The haste is obviously the more powerful of the options. The main thing that you'd want to use the Storm Sphere one for is if you're doing more, is if you have a few more companions available to you. Let's see. Let's lightning arrow. That's a lot of lightning damage. I like that. And then we'll Misty Step away. Maybe over here. And then let's run over here. You get the point. But that pretty much takes care of everything for this Drakewarden Storm Sorcerer build. What do you think of this one? I think it's a lot of fun, and it gives you a bunch of different options for different magic, whether you want to hasten your character or do some really cool storm magic. The great thing here is that we have access to the Lightning Drake and any of the other elemental drakes if you want to. It's just really fun to be able to have a dragon raptor companion while dishing out some really cool lightning damage. Let me know your thoughts on this build in the comments below, and if you would do any changes to fit your personal play styles or anything that you think might make it a little bit better. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like these kind of build guides and want to see more in your feed. But for now, I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you in the next one. Bye.